A rising political star cut down in the middle of a speech, a college rooftop turned into a sniper's nest, a rifle wrapped in a towel, a trail of DNA, and a quiet young man accused of pulling the trigger. His own parents made the call that ended the manhunt. This is not just a story of murder, it's a story of family, ideology, the internet, and how a single bullet exposed the cracks in America's soul. Tonight, we peel back the layers of the Charlie Kirk assassination and the man now at the center of it all, Tyler James Robinson. Welcome to Detective J, your home for true crime where nothing is sugar-coated and no stone is left unturned. If you care about truth, if you care about justice, then do one thing right now, hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to hear isn't just a crime story, it's a warning. Stay to the end, because I promise, the details we uncover tonight go far beyond what the headlines dared to print. To understand the gravity of this crime, we have to start with the victim. Charlie Kirk wasn't just any speaker. By the time of his death in September 2025, Kirk was one of the most recognized conservative voices in America. Founder of Turning Point USA, an organization aimed at mobilizing young conservatives. He rose from a teenage activist in Illinois to a national political force. Kirk's style was bold, brash, and unfiltered. He championed free speech on college campuses, criticized progressive ideologies, and rallied conservative youth across the country. His message made him a hero to some and a villain to others. When Kirk arrived at Utah Valley University to speak, it was supposed to be just another stop on his nationwide campus tour. No one in that room knew it would be his last. September 10, 2025. Students packed the auditorium. Security was present, but no one expected violence. As Kirk delivered his speech, a sniper positioned on a rooftop nearby aimed through a scope. The weapon, a Mauser Model 98. Plo, a .30-06 bolt-action rifle. A weapon known for its accuracy, used in wars, now repurposed for an assassination. At approximately 8:13 p.m., the trigger was pulled. One shot, one bullet. Charlie Kirk collapsed. The room erupted in panic. Students screamed. Some ran, some froze. Security scrambled. Within minutes, emergency responders were rushing to the scene. But Kirk was gone. On the rooftop, police found chilling evidence. Reefer screwdriver, possibly used to pry open access points. Shell casings with bizarre meme-style inscriptions. Words like, "Hey fascist," "Catch." To investigators, this wasn't just a murder. It was a performance. But who could have pulled the trigger? Enter Tyler James Robinson. Born April 16, 2003 in Washington, Utah. Raised in a Mormon family, described by neighbors as quiet and devoted. Attended Utah State University, but lasted just one semester before dropping out. Later entered an electrical apprenticeship at Dixie Technical College. Described as intelligent but socially isolated. Shared an apartment with a transgender roommate. A relationship that reportedly created friction with his conservative family. On the surface, Robinson was ordinary. He wasn't a public agitator, not an outspoken activist, but privately he was drifting into online spaces filled with dark humor, radical memes, and anti-establishment rhetoric. Investigators later uncovered Discord messages and online activity suggesting Robinson wasn't just angry, he was performing for an invisible audience. Some messages included cryptic references to violence, discussions about drop points, and ironic but chilling phrases echoing internet meme culture. Experts later argued this wasn't pure ideology, it was spectacle. The inscriptions on the shell casings, internet-style taunts, reinforced that point. For Robinson, the shooting may have been less about politics and more about making himself into a dark kind of legend within the subcultures he inhabited. The case against Robinson became overwhelming. DNA on the rifle towel and the screwdriver both matched his profile. Surveillance cameras showed a man resembling Robinson entering and leaving the rooftop, even changing clothes mid-operation. Digital footprint on Discord and private chats hinted at planning. Witness statements linked his movements to the campus. This was no random shooting. It was deliberate, prepared, and documented in ways Robinson may have never imagined would see daylight. For 33 hours, Utah was on edge. Law enforcement launched a massive manhunt. FBI, SWAT teams, local officers, all searching for one man. But in the end, it wasn't police who brought Robinson down, it was his parents. When they saw the surveillance images released by authorities, they recognized him. In an act both devastating and courageous, they contacted a retired detective from their church congregation who helped arrange Robinson's surrender. He was arrested peacefully. A young man, handcuffed, led away. His life effectively over before it began. Robinson now faces Ramert. aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. His defense attorney, Catherine Nestor, has hinted at exploring mental health defenses, but prosecutors insist Robinson acted with full intent. He is currently housed in a special housing unit in Utah County Jail, under constant watch. What of also, why did he do it? That question still haunts this case. Ramerting. Some point to political ideology, claiming Robinson saw Kirk as a symbol of what he hated. Others point to family conflict, especially over his conservative religious upbringing clashing with his lifestyle and friendships. Still others argue this was about online radicalization, where jokes about violence and memes about fascism turn into real-world acts. The truth? It may be all three. A perfect storm of ideology, alienation, and the toxic influence of internet culture. What of the assassination of Charlie Kirk sent shockwaves across the nation. Conservative circles declared him a martyr, calling the shooting proof that their free speech was under violent attack. Progressive voices condemned the killing, but some warned against using the tragedy to demonize entire movements. Law enforcement agencies warned about a new kind of domestic radicalization, not through traditional terrorist cells, but through the endless scroll of online forums. Meanwhile, conspiracy theories exploded. What of the assassination play? What Hummels and Prikuas or Pats others suggested deeper political plots. Social media became a battleground of speculation, often overshadowing the human tragedy. What of the entire cumberat? The Kirk family left mourning a husband, a brother, a son, a leader, and the Robinson family forced to choose truth over blood, turning in their own son. Imagine being a parent, recognizing your child as the face on every news broadcast and having to make that call. That decision saved lives, but it shattered theirs forever. This is not just the story of a murder. It's the story of a society where online jokes turn into deadly actions, where politics have become so polarized that disagreement can spill into violence, and where families are left with impossible choices in the face of tragedy. Charlie Kirk is dead, Tyler Robinson faces death row, and America is left staring into the mirror, asking, how many more? And now I need to speak directly to you, because stories like this are not just entertainment, they're warnings. Every hateful comment, every radical meme, every time we treat violence as a punchline, we move one step closer to the next tragedy. So don't just watch, do something. Subscribe to Detective J right now, share this video, leave a comment telling me where you're watching from, and let's start a community that refuses to stay silent. Help me reach 100,000 voices stronger, because together we can expose the truth, honor the victims, and maybe, just maybe, prevent the next rooftop sniper from ever taking aim.